Hi, this is Chris Rossi with Chasing Dreams, the cause to make the world a better place. Starting places to improve the world, helping all, helping as many as possible. Okay, so this video is about sin and how sin affects everyone. Um, Believe it or not, people don't realize how much sin can affect each other, as individuals and as a society. There's a lot of people that have realized it, but a lot of times it takes a lot of experiences, a lot of things to go through for anyone to realize how much sin really affects our lives. God, for anybody who believes in God, and I hope everyone who's watched the video believes in God, and if you don't, I hope you will come to believe in God. And more than that, I hope you not only believe in God, but you come to know Jesus Christ and God, Jesus Christ, your Lord and Savior, and God, with having a relationship with them both. And anyway, so sin, it really affects people's lives. There's a lot of things I haven't done as a sin, when it comes to sin, but there's things I have done. Um, when I was a kid, I was probably like 10 years old. I tried stealing candy bar. And then for some reason, when I was like probably 11 or 12, I tried stealing floppy disks. I don't recall anything I was going to use it for other than stealing, other than choosing to steal. And um, there's times I even swore. Um, I've lied at times. Very rarely I lie. I try hard to be the most honest person ever, but I've lied at times. Um, I haven't always gone to church on Sunday, but I try to still go on. I try to go to church every Sunday now, even though there are times that I miss many Sundays. You know how sin affects your life. I mean, there's so many different types of sin because the definition of sin is separating anything that separates you from God. But then it goes beyond that. Anything that can be unhealthy for you, which also is what separates you from God. Anything that's not good that can separate you from God, or anything period that separates you from God. But it basically is anything that's ungodly, anything that's bad for you. Because God is good, God is loving, God is positive, God is great, God is amazing, and so much more. God is awesome. Um, sin really affects people's lives. If we just realize that more and more, how much it will change our life to stop sinning because of how much of a burden it will become. How we'll realize, wow, this sin is ruining our life, or that sin's ruining our life. You know, Shopping too much, eating too much food. The food, where it can be a glutton, it can ruin your life because you can have liver problems, you can have kidney problems, you can have obesity. The list goes on. That is a sin, and I'm not gonna deny that I have a problem with wanting to eat meat, but I tried being healthy, and I try not eating too much at times. Um, but how much it can affect your life. Even the fact that food actually affects you mentally. Food can make you smarter, wiser. It can affect you with having depression. It can affect you feeling positive or negative, and so on. So not only does sin affect you in many ways, including being how it just affects your life in general, but it can also affect you from being negative, positive, which can also in return also affect you to be more loving or hateful because it does a job on your heart, on your soul, on your mind and stuff. Um, this cause I've been doing has really affected me in a loving way because when you choose to do positive things, when you choose to do loving things, when you try to help people, when you try to make the world a better place, it really impacts your life. Whether you only do it a few minutes a day, or whether you do it 8 hours a day or more. Um, it hasn't been easy, but I know in my heart that I shouldn't be giving up, whether I'm doing it part time or full time. I plan on making this a full time thing, a career, something I'm gonna do the rest of my life. To put my whole life into because that's what I'm passionate about, and that in itself can be positive and loving and and godly when it comes to doing it in the right way, doing it in a godly way, doing it in a good way. And I try so hard to make sure it's a godly thing, it's a good thing, and do whatever need to make it happen that way. Now during this time I've been doing it and before I struggled with sin, and I'm still can have difficulty with that. As anyone, whether you're a pastor or not a pastor, whether you're a sports player, whether you're a teacher, um, no matter what career what you do in life, you should when it comes to being a Christian or even not a Christian, we should admit the kind of person we are. Admit our mistakes, admit our faults, admit that we're not perfect. I'm not perfect, but I try to do the right thing. I try to be good. I try to be loving, and I'm trying to make the world a better place with this cause. And I hope you will too. Along with, I hope you'll make the between making the world a better place with this cause and make the world a better place in general, whether it be for others or for yourself, or most importantly for God and Jesus. Um, but yeah, I could go in detail after detail, going on with this sin, that sin, and so on and so on. You could probably talk for like 10, 15 hours. I mean, that's what I could talk for that long, if not longer, on how sin affects people's lives. It affects the emotions, it affects the physical body. It can really affect you, and not only just a worldly way, not, but just your, the way it really affects you, like spiritually, mentally, physically, just um, good, bad, all between. Well, obviously, in the good sense of like how it's not good, how it can affect you with being good. But the less sin you have, the more godliness you have, the more love you have, the more likely, you'll have more good and less bad. You'll have more good health instead of bad health. Yes, you can still have good health even with sin, but it doesn't mean it don't affect you in some way or another with the mind or mentally or just spiritually. Sin can really affect people's lives. The whole world, it's been really affecting it. The way we choose not to be as loving as we could be. To choose the fact of way when people um, whether it be committing adultery, or people cheat, doing choosing to there's like just a lot of different things. There, I'm trying to think. There's just many different ones out there. They say, envy, jealousy, the list goes on about, what kind of sins that people can struggle with that can really affect society. But when we choose positive things, loving things, hopeful things, things that are godly, how much of a difference it makes in the world. Um, we don't realize on a daily basis, like on a regular, every second basis, on how much between sin and godliness, how godliness really makes difference. Sin can really, ruin lives. Um, and how important it is to try to get away from that sin. How important it is to get away from any sin. How important it is to pray for the sinners. Pray for people who struggle with sin. Pray for everyone that struggles with sin. Pray for anything that anyone's going through. Because that's important for us to pray for each other. And important to pray for ourselves. Pray for the world. Pray for anyone and everyone. Um, it's also important to realize, how important sin affects our lives, and to do something about it, whether it be helping others or helping ourselves. Making the world a better place when we help ourselves. Making the world a better place when we help anybody and everybody. Whatever we got to do with improving life in general is how important is that. And sin's one of those things where it can really affect people, and when we choose to not do that, how it really makes life better. So I hope you found this video helpful. You have a good day or night. God bless. Take care.